What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and we're doing a wand review. Meekachii's here too, in her,
Harry Potter robe.
I like to call it
My wizarding robe.
wizarding attire.
Yes.
So you're gonna be the perspective of a non-wand maker. So I'm gonna be the wand maker review, and she's gonna be just the like, hey, I'm a regular witch here reviewing stuff too. So understand that, okay? I don't want anybody to be like, you don't even make wands.
I do not.
So it's okay though, because you see all of my wands.
Yes.
And you review
and
my
I review
wands.
them all the time. And I'm honest with him.
Yeah, I hate it. It's the worst. So we're going to start off with Paul from Germany, who sent over, this is not the right mouse. I always grab that mouse. I need to throw this thing out. So, thoughts?
I really like this wand. To be honest, it reminds me of a unicorn, and it just feels so magical.
A unicorn horn.
Yeah.
It does not look like a horse.
No. But, like, it just reminds me of a unicorn horn. I like the colors. I really like the light wood. And
I like the light wood.
The gold with it.
I like the gold with it.
It's just very magical
I like the spiral. I like how the spiral isn't actually a part. It doesn't go all the way down. It goes and then it straightens out and then goes straight and then it goes into that ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think that looks interesting and cool. So the second one is you said that it's loosely based on the Elder Wand, and mostly I get it. I see it. It looks good as well. They're both simple designs, but they both look really good. So nice job. What was it?
For a first attempt.
Wait, what was it?
Bad.
Paul?
Yeah.
Paul. Nice job, Paul. Let's talk about this wand. Who is it? Is there a name? This wand was submitted by Cornelius, and it looks like it's a pommel heavy. That's the information we got. Copper handle with polymer clay. It looks really good. I think the finish on it looks really, really good.
I like it a lot. It reminds me almost like of a seashell.
Me too. Or like a little like claw seashell weird thing. I think it looks really good. It looks a little small.
Yeah.
It definitely looks short, but the finish on it looks really good, and the wand itself looks really good.
I like kind of the aged look.
Yeah, it looks great. It's a great wand. Nice job.
I agree.
Kelsey?
Chelsea.
I always get Kelsey and Chelsea confused. Wait, which one was it?
Chelsea.
Chelsea submitted 3 wands, and I'm not sure what this one is. It looks like Paduke or something, or some sort of reddish wood. It's different. I like the little the string, the rope, whatever you want to call it. It does seem a little bit fat.
I like it's a little thick.
But also, I feel like the rocks and that cactus make it deceivingly look really big, because that cactus is like a baby cactus, and those rocks are probably really little rocks, but they make it look
even
like
bigger.
They're big rocks, like they're like this big, and therefore the wand would be like this big.
I feel like
I'm sure that's not how big they are.
The end of it almost reminds me of like a
bee.
bug. Like a bug, I was gonna say.
Honeycomb. Like a honey dipper.
I like the finish on it though.
The shininess?
Yeah. I don't know why, but it works for me.
And then we have this snaky looking one over here.
It reminds me, this may be like offensive and I hope not, but it reminds me of like a slug. Almost. Or like
why would
a
that be
snail body.
Who would that offend?
I
Slugs?
don't know.
Slugs aren't real people. They're not even fake people.
It reminds me of like a snail body, I think.
So I don't like the twisty things on wands like that. I think I would like this one more if it was thinner as well. I feel like that's one thing that these wands all suffer, they're all a little too fat. Or they're really small, short-wise, so they look fatter. Because if you go short and you have the same thickness for the wand, it's going to make it look fatter. But I just feel like if you were to make it a little bit smaller, thinner, it would make them look better.
The color on the Purple Heart one is really good. Like Purple Heart, you never know really what you're going to get.
Do you smell that? I think that dog just farted.
I don't smell it.
I think it was her. It smells really bad.
I don't smell it.
Maybe it's your face then. The Purple Heart color varies between one piece of wood and another. Also, the more you heat it up, the more it changes as well.
It's like more brown.
It gets more brown. If it gets sun bleached, it'll get more brown as well. So that's why it's good to put a finish on it that will like protect it from UV, because otherwise over time it will change color. because she's here, I kind of forgot to do my normal thing where I tell you, hey, we're going to review some of your wands today, guys. And you guys can submit them to newwandsday@gmail.com. And then we'll make videos like this with them. And I'll be brutally honest and tell you guys what I think is good, what was done well, and what was done bad. And if they're really bad, sometimes I don't even show them.
Well, plus sometimes if the pictures are too small, we can't show
Yeah,
them.
we already had one of those where it was like a tiny little picture where I can't put it on it would look bad on a phone screen. So therefore, I
It's
don't,
just hard
I'm not
for
gonna do
us
it.
to see it to review it, and we can't show you guys. So
There's also rules in the description if you want to follow those rules. Just a rough idea of what I want. Next up is a submission by Alex, and it's a black wand, and it has some little carvings in it. And I think it was all hand done, so that now I understand why the carvings are a little rough. But you did a good job. I don't know how many wands you've made. It looks like you made a wand box as
I
well.
like the fact that they made the wand box.
Yeah, it looks. Wand boxes are hard. I'm sure that you know that. But you did a nice job. There's some room for improvement. Next up, we have a wand by Tim, and this is Tim's first wand he ever made, and it's good for your first wand. You definitely need to, I feel like, finish it. Maybe do a stain. Maybe just sand it, hand sand it a little bit more, just a little bit more. If that makes sense.
I really think like it's got potential, and it's got like I like the shape, but it definitely needs to be finished more. Like it needs.
I like the
some final sanding and some like a.
It goes like this.
A finish.
It goes like this.
Yeah.
But just keep making wands, man. Okay, not bad. All right, let's see. What do we got here for information?
It's by Wolf Ohms.
Okay, so fun fact: length has nothing to do with height. Don't know if you knew that. So the length of your wand does not matter how tall you are. It's all personality characteristics that make your wand longer or shorter. So you could have a really tall person with a really short wand, or a really short person with a really long wand. Just so you know.
So I feel like a tall person though might. I kind of understand where they're coming from, because I feel like a tall person might look a little silly with a short wand.
I agree.
And like vice versa.
I agree.
Like, didn't Hagrid have a normal sized wand, and he was like a giant?
Well, Hagrid had an umbrella.
Well, after the
we
fact.
never really knew what his wand was.
I don't know. Like I understand like wanting to have a longer wand if you're taller.
I completely understand as well. I was just explaining the lore behind the rules of wands. Same thing with flexibility. People always think that flexibility is just the flexibility of the wood. It's not.
That's what I thought.
It's not. It's like the flexibility of the wand itself.
Oh, well, yeah.
Not,
I figured it had
not
to do
the
with
bendy part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not physically like how bendable it is. Otherwise, all woods of the same type would always have the same exact flexibility. So why state the type of flexibility that it is? If all Purple Heart is Purple Heart, it should all be somewhat the same flexibility. It's not going to change.
Depend on like how skinny it is, and
again, it's all based on personality. It's all like the wand's personality and your personality is the flexibility of the wand. So a wand that is more flexible, can adapt easier, is less set in its ways, that type of thing.
I like the shape of this wand. I don't remember what the other one looks like. So the first one, I like the shape of it, and I like the holes. It almost makes it look like it was eaten by something.
I like the holes as well.
Makes it look very like organic.
I do feel like the holes are too non-organic. Do you know what I mean? It's like the wand itself is very organic shaped, but I feel like the holes are too perfectly drilled, except for that big one that's all ripped apart.
Because have you ever seen like something eaten, like a piece of wood eaten by something? Like a lot of the holes are usually pretty uniform.
No, I'd have to disagree. I would say to make it more organic would be to go back in there and do some like some shallow ones, or maybe just kind of bore out some of the holes so that they're a little bit bigger. Some of them are a little bit bigger, some of them are a little bit smaller. Maybe it's because they're all the same size, which I know makes sense, because if it's like a bug going through it, it would be the same size bug.
Yeah.
But it just visually it doesn't look as good. You have one big hole in there,
yeah,
but then the rest are not That one big hole for some reason is all ripped apart as well.
Maybe that's a natural piece.
Yeah, and then you just added more. I like the shape though a lot. And then the other one looks really good. I really like the broken end on
Yeah,
it.
it looks like it was almost like struck by lightning at the end and
Okay.
like fell off.
Yeah, sure.
I like it.
I like it too. Next up, we have a wand submitted by Deacon, and this is probably one of the coolest looking wands that I've seen in a while. It's not super practical, but as you can see, it's super awesome looking. It looks like a sword, and it has like a guard on it. And if you guys know, I always describe all the parts as sword parts, so this is perfect. We have a blade, a guard, a pommel, a handle. This is good. It's great. It has like this is real metal on it too, so it looks super awesome. I have nothing bad to say about this wand.
No, I really like the pale wood in this part. What's that part called?
The
The
handle.
handle. Like I really like the pale part in that. It looks very like parchment-y, and I really like it. Just reminds me of a pirate, and that's what I love about it.
Okay.
And I like the opening in the center.
Yeah, so it looks like what he did was he taped that up when he was either staining it or painting to get the worn look. I actually thought, until you pointed that out, I thought that was like a wrap, like paper wrapped around it. But it's actually like the wood that it wasn't stained.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I think it's like, so far, it's the winner for best wand of today's show. All right, next up we have a wand submitted by William, and what was it, made for somebody? Oh,
Yeah.
made for their cousin, Will's cousin, for graduation. Hopefully your cousin liked it. It's a good job. It looks like you took a stick and you carved it down. I'm not a big fan of carving wands from twigs because you're stuck with that shape. It's really hard to get your own shape out of it. So you're kind of like you got to find the perfect stick to be able to do it. And then also, it's a great way to use like the bark itself, the natural bark on it, and incorporate that into it, which looks like that's what you did. But the other thing that I don't like about it is that it's not as strong because like a twig grows like this, right? So you have the rings this way. So it's like a ring, a ring, a ring, a ring.
Outward.
Yeah, so it grows outward, right? So I feel like it's not as strong when it comes to like if you use a plank. Because the plank is like if you have a bunch of rings this way and you just chop the piece of it off, like a slice of it. Just feel like it's more solid. It's older wood. A twig is like it's usually very green. It's harder to work with. You get a lot of knots. So that's one big reason I don't really work with sticks, like with tree branches and stuff like that a lot. And people are always like, "Oh, why do you buy fancy wood? Why don't you just go to the backyard and get some sticks?" That's what I would do. You're very limited on what you can do.
I do, however, like the end that almost looks like a Pocky stick. Like,
What's up with you and Pocky sticks? Like you mention that all the time. Like I made a wand and you're like, that looks like a Pocky stick.
I just like Pocky, but like it totally reminds me of that. I like that. It's very like Asian-y to me.
Good job, Will. Next wand was submitted by Dante, and he said this is the halfway point of the wand. I really like the shape of it. I think it's a just nice natural shape. It looks like it's another branch wand.
But I like that natural knot in it. It looks
There's
cool.
a couple of natural knots in it. There's like 6.
I like this color.
I do too, and it's sad because the finished product, you did a stain on it, and I think it looked better
White.
with the white.
Yeah.
You may have wanted to do like a natural stain on it. What may also still look good is if you took a little bit of sandpaper to it and gave it some, not sanded it down all the way, but gave it like some depth when it came to the color. Because if you start sanding it away, it's going to get lighter and lighter, and you're going to have some high spots that are lighter than the low spots, and it may give you some more depth in the actual grain.
I definitely liked it better.
Lighter.
And you could see the knots better, and like it makes it look more like organic.
You say organic weird.
I do.
You say organic.
Organic.
I
don't mean to.
Next up, we have a couple wands submitted by Hans. And so we got 3 wands. First one, I really like the end. And the middle, I like, but it's really big, right? It's hard to make holy wands without making it look really big. I'm not sure if it's big enough to actually fit your finger in there, but that'd be cool if you could like fit your finger and use it like. I like the design though itself. It's just there's something about it that it doesn't make it like a 10 for me.
I I see, me personally, the end is not my thing. Like, I don't really care for the
It's
end.
creepy. I love those like
Yeah, it
the
is.
holy
The
like
middle, I actually like. It reminds me of kind of like a lute or something. Like, it's an instrumental
instruments.
thing.
Ah, got it.
But I feel like the pointy part at the end is like
Too thin.
Too thin.
Or maybe the
bit.
taper is a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's something there.
I like it, but I don't love it.
There's something there that's off. Maybe it's just the shape of the circle, and then the actual shape of the outside is not the same, so it makes it look a little weird.
Yeah,
Maybe if it like
yeah.
if it followed it a little bit more, maybe. But it's still really good.
But I
It's
like
still,
it.
Yeah, it's still really good.
I just think like a couple of tweaks and it would be better. I like this one.
This one's really
a lot.
cool. Yeah,
I really like the way they did the two colors.
that's really good.
It
Yeah.
looks well done. And I just like the whole
I agree.
tapering and how I just like everything about it.
Out of the three, this is your best one. This is definitely the best.
My favorite.
I don't even think you needed to put that hole at the end. I think without that
it
hole,
looks good.
that's not what I said. It's always you always have to do this to me. Whenever I say something, it's like I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying I don't think you needed it. I think it would have been
I
great
agree.
without it. I don't think I don't think it adds to the spiral. I think the spiral is there and it's the focal point. It's the main part of the wand. Sometimes you just need to know when to stop. When to stop adding like features to it, right?
Embellishments.
Because I don't think you needed it. I think it would have been just as good, if not better, without the hole.
Yep.
I mean, you can't undo the hole, so don't worry, it's good. And then the last one, I would say this one's your weakest point compared to.
Again, I just think it's too skinny at the end.
Yeah, like there's no taper.
Like, I feel like
There's no taper.
The handle part is fine. Like, I like it, and I feel like if the end had just been a little thicker, I would have liked it even more.
See, it's funny because my complaint is always that they're too fat, right? But I feel like the problem is that it's just the taper is too drastic, and then it's just not perfectly straight because you obviously did it by hand, but really straight and skinny instead of like a nice like gradual taper.
Yeah.
More from like right where the guard starts and then going into like halfway through the handle. Maybe if you tapered it a little bit more.
I like the colors of all three.
Brown.
They're just like that goldeny kind of color. I like them.
I was like, wood color. Next wand was submitted by Jack Rudman. Sorry, Rudman. Beautiful wand.
Yeah,
super
it was
nice.
Really cool.
You got like a wine glass in the back. That's always interesting.
Almost goblety looking.
It looks like you have an Amazon Echo as well, possibly, and some sort of Apple device.
You got some Gryffindor colors over there.
But this is awesome. Like the transfer of the wood to the actual antler, spot on.
It looks
It's
seamless.
perfect.
Like, almost, yeah.
Yeah. There's really nothing. The only thing that could. Hold on, I selected something by accident here. The only thing that may like make it look even more like interesting was if it wasn't like a perfectly flat thing, but you're kind of limited there, right? You can't really, because it's like.
What's flat?
Right now we basically have like where it meets. It's like, is this water in this? Okay. So it's basically like here's the antler, here's the wand, and it just like perfectly seamed like this, which is awesome. But it's like straight. I don't even know how you would do it, right? How you'd make it so that it's like kind of like mixed together, almost like it looks like it's becoming the wood.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to do that. So I'm not saying like I would have done it this way, but that would be the only thing that would make this like an 11 out of 10, you know? But it's pretty much like a 10 out of 10.
I like it a lot.
This one's really good.
It's really well
This
done.
one and the sword wand from before, two best ones so far. We're going to have to judge them at the end and see who wins.
Trace from Ohio. First wand attempt. Pocket knife, sandpaper, apple wood. Stained it with a dark stain and sanded it all except for a few places. All right,
so this is cool. This is exactly what we were talking about before when I was like, maybe you could sand down some of the stuff and then the stain will stay there. Basically what Tracy did, where Tracy's a girl, right?
Trace.
Oh, Trace.
I don't know.
All right, so
teak oil.
Trace. This is what Trace did. So pretty much coated the whole thing, painted it, whatever you want to do, and then let it dry, fully dry. Don't try to do it while it's still wet, because then all the stuff sticks. Oh, the dust and
Oh,
stuff sticks, and you get
yeah.
it's not good. So sanded it all down, and then basically the low spots are always going to stay because the sandpaper isn't going to touch it. It's going to basically do this, where in here it's going to stay dark, and then the edges are going to get lighter. For
I
the
think
most part, the wand is nice and smooth, so most of it got turned white again.
I like the color of this one, and I like the color of the handle too. It's not my favorite shape, but
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like the colors.
I think the shape could could improve a little bit, but it's definitely good. It's definitely still really good. I think that there's just maybe a couple of lumpy parts of
Especially
it.
for a first wand attempt,
Definitely,
it's not bad.
definitely. All right, who's this by?
Jude.
Jude. All right.
They're only 11 years old.
Next wand was submitted by Jude, and did you just say that they're 11 years old?
Yep, made it from a broken newt wand.
Ah.
When I bought it, the bottom section was snapped off. I thought of instead of throwing away or getting a refund, I can make my own wand out of it. It's made of resin sprayed with some paints to dirty it up and make it more rustic. Some acrylics on there too, and I glued the string on. I mean, now that I know they took like a broken wand and like made it their own, I think that's pretty awesome.
So, I was gonna say this looks a lot like a newt wand. I was gonna say it's very newt inspired. But now knowing that it's awesome. That's
Cool.
That's all you got to do, you know. It's awesome.
Sometimes just take something like a bad situation and make it your own. I like it. I think it's cool. The dirtiness on the string may be a little much for me.
I think a better way to do it would have maybe been just bought some like brown twine or something, or even just like stained it in like coffee and then taken it out and let it dry, or maybe done the whole thing brown, dip the whole thing in paint and then take it out and let it dry and then wrap it around or whatever.
Staining is a really good way to make something look like antique. I mean, overall, I like it a lot. I think like I said, the only thing that I might change would be the color of the string. 11, what is up with you? You're like all sorts of antsy.
Can I get a kiss? Okay, that's enough. Next up, we have some wand drawings submitted by Faster Flash, and
this is cool because they actually said it could be used as inspirations for him to make a wand from. Which I think, do you get a lot of these? Like
usually people don't say that.
I think it's
but
cool,
I mean, if somebody has a good idea that I can steal, I'll just be like, I'll try to. I usually take ideas from people, right? That's part of the community. Is I show you guys my wands. If you guys want to try to imitate them or take ideas from it, that's the whole.
You've
that's
had
the whole
people
point.
do that and they come out good.
Yeah.
All right. So,
not as good as mine.
So the first one.
Get your butt back
I feel
over
like
here.
for you, it's gonna be a little too bendy in the.
All right, let me start right here. Okay, ready? Let's start from the left to the right. This first one, it's a little too bendy, but it's still cool. I would just straighten it out a little bit. There isn't enough detail in the handle for me to really see like if there's anything different about it.
I think you can make something out of
the
that. The
second one, very much my style of hand. I love that axe handle style.
It's a little too thick, I think.
Yeah, but again, the drawings are just drawings.
Yeah.
You always adjust as you make it.
This next one they even put as a twin one.
Yeah, so it's just
I think it's very like Beetle-esque.
Yeah.
Like that would be really cool, actually.
I don't know how I would make it. Next one looks like a
scorpion tail.
Yeah, I was thinking
paintbrush.
But I think it's more. I think
tail.
it's more of like a scorpion tail. I think that's more. Yeah, I think that's more it. Next one's like a thorn. It looks like.
It says antler wand.
Oh, it's an antler. Okay.
I think that might be cool.
Like a whole antler.
You're always looking for like a way to. I don't think you've made a true antler wand
not
yet.
with
It's very
not with
difficult.
real antler. No.
No. I don't want you to.
I will someday.
No, I don't like it.
I don't care if you like it. You're not the wand maker. It'll be me.
I
know
mean,
that they don't kill.
I feel less bad now
stop.
that you say they fall off naturally.
Yeah, they don't kill the things.
But it still like hurts my soul.
Why? It's like if your nail fell off and somebody made a wand out of that.
So
Would that hurt your soul?
Yes.
No. Okay, imagine. Let's just imagine. Imagine if you go to the hair salon, they cut off your hair, and then somebody took your hair
That's just gross.
and made a wand out of your hair.
Why are you talking like that?
This is how I always talk. My normal voice.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
That's gross.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you what you thought about that. Is that gonna kill your life or whatever?
Now that I know antlers fall up naturally, I'm not as against them. Go down. I like that one on the left.
I like that break there. It looks like it would be probably like one of those little metal things like I've used before. I like it. The other one looks like a bat wing or something, or some weird bat. The second one.
Oh, I see.
Some weird like bat thing.
I thought of more like a stalagmite or a stalactite.
A stalagmite? Stalactite. Not stalagmite.
Why? Did I say that
You said
wrong?
stalagmite.
Yeah, is that a...
Stalagmite.
Stalagmite.
Stalagmite. This is like Trinskit. This is like me and Trinskits.
You can't say Trisket.
And you can't say stalagmite.
I can't say half of the
Say
stuff.
stalagmite.
Stalagmite.
There you go. Now say it the other way.
Stalactite.
Stalagmite.
Stalactite.
Stagmite. All right, next up we have a bendy jewel thing.
I don't know if I like that too much. I feel like it would just be too much like sticking this on this and then like...
Yeah, that's the hardest part about incorporating
making it look like it
a
belongs.
jewel of some kind, yeah. And then the next one, I'm not really in love with. Too big, too bulky, reminds her of a spider leg.
Yeah. I mean, it could be cool though if you change it a little bit.
And then this next one, I don't think it would translate.
I don't know how that would be made.
I don't get it either. And then the last one, the eye idea, what'd you call it, me?
Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, it would be cool if it just had like the two things like this, because that's
yeah.
And then like the eye in the middle.
I like it. I think that one could be cool.
I just don't know how. I mean, I've seen that people make eye ones, but like they always just look weird because the eye doesn't move. It's
I
just
feel like you should make it look like the Eye of Sauron, but just don't put the eye in it. You know what I mean?
That makes no sense.
Let people make
something look like a soda can, but just not a soda can.
Like make the shape of the Eye of Sauron tower, but just don't put the eye in it. Like I think that would be a cool idea.
Cool. I agree. Next up, we have a one submitted by Geno.
Cedar wood, all hand carved. Rose quartz crystal. A bit more than 17 inches. That's a long wand.
All right, so let's see this. Not a fan of the rose quartz or quartz. Was it quartz or rose quartz?
She described why she did the rose quartz. It's like a Wiccan thing, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying the way it's incorporated, I don't like. I think the wand itself looks really good, even without that part.
Yeah.
Just chopped off right there. It's just like a classic, like traditional style wand. It looks awesome. I don't know what kind of finish you put on it. I think maybe a semi-gloss or just like a matte finish would kind of make it pop a little bit more. Probably make it feel more nice. I like the velvety feel of like a satin finish. Again, the only gripe I have is the gem sticking out the back.
Literally what we said we didn't like before.
In the last one, yeah. All right, next up we have a submission by David Patterson.
I've never heard of sourwood.
It looks really cool. I love the natural like spiral that it has on the.
Is that natural?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be because it's not shaved down.
Super cool. The design itself, I could see that you were very much going for emphasis on that handle, right? That's the whole point of it. I don't know how fat it is, but I feel like that may be the only downside of it is that if it's too fat, but I can't really tell because you're not holding it and there's nothing there for scale.
It reminds me of like a root, like a vegetable, like the bottom
or
part.
It reminds you of the bark on a branch.
Nah, it reminds me of a root.
Nah. Is
that the only picture?
That is the only picture. I like it though. Nice job. Like I said, the only thing I don't know how thick it is. If it's like super thick, the handle, it would be a little weird. But if it's like a nice like inch or so in diameter, probably it's a really cool wand. Nice job, David.
All right, let me read it first.
I like this. Okay, we're not gonna go over every single one.
Braden.
17
years old. I mean,
nice job, Braden.
Pretty awesome. Okay, so. Oh, they're telling us what they're all made.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna go over that. Right. But all right. So, first of all, let's look at all of them. Which one's your favorite?
Oh, by far the third one from the right.
Third one from the right, the spirally indented one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what my favorite is. I would go between that one and the white one in the middle.
That one's good too.
I like that one. I like the finish on it. What is it made out of? It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Poplar?
Poplar, really? Poplar's really
Weathered
light.
gray stain.
Oh, nice. All right, so yeah, it just looks like you have a nice stain on it, and that's what makes it look good. So, I'd say that one's really nice. The white one in the middle. The little.
I like the white one on the all the way at the end too.
But it's very simple. It barely
like
looks.
that.
It barely looks like a wand, though. Like it's so simple that it barely looks like.
I'm fine with it.
Because there's no
like it.
grain, is my point, right? If it had like more wood grain on it, it would make it look more like.
Oh, I didn't see the dots in this one.
Yeah, it looks good, right?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite is still the third one from the right. I just think, like, the colors look awesome.
I think that one thing that you may want to reduce a little bit is the pointiness of all of them.
Really? I disagree.
They're
I
very
see what you mean.
thick, and then they kind of taper right at the end. It's a style. I've seen other people do it. I think that white one has the best ratio because it has a thinner blade, as you can see. And then the rest, I think that's the most my style of wand out of all of these. Even the one that you like, that looks like a horn almost, that one would do better, I feel like, if the blade was a little bit thinner and then it tapered a little bit more gradually as opposed to thick, 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 and then right at the end it does this. It may, but they're all really good. They're all nice. And you sent pictures of all, or just one individually.
I actually like it better in that second picture.
Yeah. It looks nice. Again, the only thing is just the thickness of it, of the blade itself. Nice job. What was your name again? Braden. Nice job, man. Next up, we have a wand submitted by Jordan, and
I really like this one.
I do too. It's very before you even read it,
I said
you were
it
like,
looks like Newt.
It looks like Newt's wand. I like it. And then you were like, Newt inspired, because that's what you said.
It makes sense.
It looks good. I like it. It's nice and simple, nice straight, but a little bendy. So instead of being like Newt's wand, where his is very straight and very skinny, yours is has a little bit of an. Do you call it an arch or an arc?
Arc.
What's an arch?
You could say both, really.
I always feel like I'm using the wrong one when I'm trying to say one or the other. So it looks good. There's really nothing much there to say. You put a little bit of gold, I believe.
You like how he put it on top of a Fantastic
I
Beasts
did.
book?
I did like that. Yes, that's very nice.
I like it.
It's very nice. Next up, we have some submissions by Roger.
Is it the same one? No.
No, it's two different wands, but it's the same style. I'm not sure what you used for the core. I don't know if you actually, it's wood there or what it is. The core looks good itself. I don't like the crystal thing at the end. I'm not a big fan of that crystal thing.
I don't hate it because it looks almost like it's growing out. I kind of like that.
Yeah. And you put the rope there, the twine, kind of, it's a glue point between the two, basically. So you have the crystals growing out, and then you have like something holding it there, and then you have the wand itself. So it kind of incorporates it a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of the glue thing. I'm pretty sure that's...
I don't get what it's supposed to be. Like,
it's just supposed to be cool looking.
Paint
It
or
looks
honey.
It looks good. You did a good job with it. I'm not a big fan of that style.
I kind of like the second one
Better
as far as like
I like that one because it's like it's dripping in both directions.
Yeah.
I like the yellow one because it's like it's coming in together. It's weird.
I don't know how he did that.
You want me to tell you?
Sure.
I mean, if you use like hot glue, you can, if you heat it up. I don't know what they use. They may use something else. So let's say you have you have hot glue and you're heating it up and it's dripping down, right? And then you flip it over and you drip it the other way. So once this one's hardened, you flip it over and do the other side.
It looks cool.
It looks good. Not my forte, not my cup of tea, not my
personal favorite,
but it looks good. Your technique was good. All right, next up we have some wands submitted by Gonzalo. Was that how you say it?
Yeah, from Peru, but Gonzo.
Hello to Peru.
Gonzo is okay.
So let's talk about these wands. First one is a
runes in it.
No, yeah, but it's what's it called? It's like a Sirius Black.
Oh yeah.
Replica,
almost.
basically inspired, whatever. And And then it looks really good. I think you did a really good job. It's really hard to carve stuff like that. So nice job. The next one, it's not my favorite, but you did a good job. Like
I like the bottom part.
You mean the blade?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's normally the top.
I kind of like where it's
just the image is upside
part,
down.
like turns into the.
Oh, so it's like a.
I like that part, but I just don't
it's like
like.
this.
I don't love the handle too much.
Yeah, but it looks good. They did a good job.
It's not. You know, it's just not.
It's a hard thing to do.
Personal preference.
Also, the smoothness of it, how round you did, nice job. And then the last one's another. It's a weird one.
It almost reminds me of an ankh.
It reminds me of like those things you would put in your hair to like hold. Yeah, like those chopsticks, but like the fancier ones. What's an ankh?
The Egyptian symbol of life.
Oh, okay. So
I
like,
mean, the bottom
what does it look like?
It's like that. I can't
draw it.
I don't know, like this, and then it has like a thing at the end, and then I think it has like a part there too.
Oh, like the cross. It's like it's a circle, and then there's a cross, right?
Look it up.
It's a circle, like that shape, and then there's like a cross part of it, and then it goes down.
I think so, if I'm remembering right.
That's what it is.
Anyway.
See? Am I right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think your technique is really good. All right, next one is Ricardo.
Yes.
And it's mahogany, and it looks really good.
Is it mahogany or was it?
It was mahogany. Mahogany. Yeah. I like it.
I like the shape of it.
I like the shape of it. It's beautiful. I see the elder wand design and the bottom, the handle, the pommel part of it.
I like how he carved the rune in the bottom and then placed wood pieces in it. Like, I actually think that looks really cool.
It does. I can't see the picture doesn't show very well, but nice job.
I think that's a cool idea.
I think it's just a nice wand. I think it's a nice wand. I'm gonna give it a blue. So next up we have a wand submitted by Callie. This is a cool wand, but it's weird as well.
So unique, but it is very weird. Like, so I don't really love the very end of the pommel, but I love the parts with the dots and the lines, and I like the circle that makes the blade and the pommel go together, and I even like the blade. Like, I think it tapers well.
I think the taper is perfect on it.
Yeah.
I love all the little facets that are on the blade. Those little flat spots, the little bumps. Looks awesome. This is a really good wand. Like you said, I think the only downside, the only thing that I think is not, like, I think it would make it look better is if that you took off that yellow part at the end at the pommel.
Oh yeah.
If that was just like black and it was rounded off, like it just followed the roundness, and I don't even know what it reminds me of, like a Pokemon or Coral from The Walking Dead. I mean, it's so like it is
cool, unique though, and it's made really well.
The color scheme is dope. It's so weird looking. It like just definitely stands out. Like in a group with other wands.
Yeah.
A grouping with the other three. So, now let's compare this wand and this wand. And then the last wand. Oh, here it is. So these three wands.
I think my ultimate favorite is... It's hard. Probably the sword wand.
The sword wand. Yeah. I think I would have to place them as... The sword one is just... The metal work on it is the hardest part. So I would say it wins because of that. I think the metal work is really what makes it stand out.
That's not even what I love most.
But I remember now what I was saying. Comfort-wise. A wand, you can't really hold it like this because then you can't cast.
Hold it like this.
Right? You have to kind of point it forward in some way. So that's what's going to make this wand not as practical. But it's still really cool.
I love even like the very end of the pommel looks almost like a bolt in a ship. And then the parchment map looking part, the fact that it's like split open and there's stuff inside, to me it's just like awesome. I love it. It is colors. A really cool one. It's my favorite.
But I would definitely say that the horn one is really good.
The antler one.
Yeah, whatever. A horn and antler. What's really the difference? You know what? I think antlers fall off and horns don't.
Huh. Yeah. There's a difference.
Okay.
I like that one too a lot.
And then that last one, I like
The uniqueness.
and the attention to like little details, right? Like those lines are all really nice and straight, and all those little like dots look really good. They look perfectly aligned. And then you have that weird like coral from The Walking Dead coming out of the bottom. That's just like weird. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know which one was your favorite out of all the ones that we showed today. Just describe the wand or whatever. Say like the sword one, or the yellow and black one, or the antler one, or whatever. One of those. What?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing at me?
Because you're silly.
Your face is silly, dude. Boys,
Do you want to wear my robe?
I don't want to wear your robes. Do I look like I would want to wear your robe?
Want to wear my hat?
I do want to wear your hat. Your hat's so cool looking.
Next time they come back around, we'll have to buy some more.
But we need like a giant sized one for my big old head.
This will fit on your head.
Your face.
It's stretchy a little. It's okay, Meek.
Recently I did some wand reviews on Noble Collection wands, and also every once in a while we get some new wands going up in the shop, so keep an eye on that. If you want to support us on Patreon, make sure to check out the link. It's either up there or down below. Thank you guys for watching, and again, if you want to submit your wands, send them over to newwands@gmail.com. And thanks for watching. Say bye, Meek.
Bye, Meek.
Bye.